Welcome, Turbo Ether Knights. Welcome to the show where
Turbo Ethorians.
Turbo Ether.
Name pending.
Yeah, name pending. Name pending for the fans that are out there. The less than 10. Welcome everybody, and welcome to the show where sticks and stones may break our bones, but keep talking that nonsense, and I'm gonna have to take a keyboard and break it over your head. I'm your host.
I wish you had the Stone Cold theme music to play after you said that.
I might insert its way in. I'm your host, Nick, and with me I have the full cast going on. We have Greg.
Hey.
Mike.
Free Brady.
And Dimitri.
Deflated balls.
Very appropriate. And today, on tonight's segment, we are going to talk about the toxic environment of online multiplayer gaming. The reason this kind of came up is because I kind of had an experience with one of the more popular online games, that being Rocket League. And it just really pissed me off. But you know what? I'm going to save it. For right now, we're going to talk about what makes a toxic environment. And after that, we are gonna talk about our examples. So, guys, like, come on, I can't be the only one that's experienced this, right?
Absolutely not.
I don't think you can have an online experience, or continue online experiences without being there with just some douchebag who wants to call you a faggot, tell you that he fucked your mom, and
yeah, you live long enough on the internet, and you've heard it all and seen it all at some point.
Correct. So it is a lot. And for people that are not too familiar, I want to go over like what makes the toxic environment in an online multiplayer game. One of the few factors is just playing with a younger generation. I mean, let's face it, guys. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're just little kids, you know. But they got some mouths on.
I really think it's hard to define a type for like a troll or somebody that like a specific person that fits in that typecast. Whether it be like a 12-year-old with first time on the internet, or just a general loser with no social skills that probably just finds it fun to make fun of other people. So I think it's kind of tough finding like a specific type of person that like a troll fits into.
Well, I thought it was okay to pick on the little ones. You know, they're a bunch of little bastards as far as I'm concerned.
I've experienced plenty of adults, though, you know, guys who think they're like, you know, ghetto tough guys or frat boy-esque who throw the abuse, you know, with the best of them.
And that kind of brings me to another point where people feel very protected on the internet. So, like, they know they can say pretty much whatever they want with like little repercussion, and that's the keyboard warriors, so to speak, out there that are like, you know, well, you fucking suck, you know, and just try to put it. And you know, when they're having a bad game, like they just want to blame it on whoever. And
yeah. And I think you see a little bit of that in competitive fighting game scene as well, but not nearly as bad because you're sitting right next to the person. So I think those jabs are usually a little bit more subtle. Like they'll pick like a shitty character, like Dan from Street Fighter, and then like totally stunt on you. But you know, after they're like, "Good game, bro," or like a sarcastic way or something like that. So it exists everywhere, just I guess in different varying ways.
It does, and I think the most prime examples is just not even just one-on-one or battle goes against all. Like, why did I say battle goes against all? I mean like one against what am I trying to say? The one
were you
where,
trying to go with like battle royale?
Yeah, something like that.
A royale with cheese.
Hey, that's sounding really good right now. But when you're just facing all people, like it's not even just then. I think it's more prevalent in the team-based games that you play. So like that's where the competition comes involved, especially if you're playing like ranked. There's just some people that just think they're above others.
Oh yeah, that's why I could never get into a MOBA game, because you're playing with 4 other people, and the second somebody thinks that they're better than you, that's on your same team, and your bad play is causing them not to win, it's like cover your ears or, you know, like start muting, because you're never going to hear the end of it. And that's why it's the hardest, like Counter-Strike included too. You'll get some of that there.
Well, I think also a lot of the most popular online games are also pretty casual games, so you're getting a much larger cross-section of the population. You're going to get more assholes, you're going to get more, more racist, like people who aren't, sexist, people who aren't necessarily into gaming as a hobby, we were just playing like games for fun. And if you look at, like, for example, the 10 best-selling PS3 games compared to the 10 best rated, you know, the best-selling are virtually all Call of Duty, all sports games, which are all competitive, Battlefield, where, you know, hardly any of those games crack the top 10 of best rated. So, you know, there's a much, you know, anytime you have more people, more competition, you're gonna get more assholes, no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's all about perspective too, because sometimes it's comical to hear somebody go off like you fucking suck and this and that, and sometimes it's funny, but I guess it depends on your mood too. Sometimes you're like, man, I don't feel like dealing with this shit. I'm just trying to unwind and play a game, and I'm getting like harassed for no reason. So you're like, fuck this game, never playing it again. But it could be funny sometimes too.
And some people troll just for fun. I knew a guy who was a big Call of Duty player, and he would just get on people, and he would just do it specifically to get a rise out of them. Like, none of it like hurt him. Like, you were never gonna get to him, but he just loved getting people riled up. It was just part of the fun of the game to him.
And that's I almost take that in kind of a hypocritical stance, because like when it's not happening to me, like you said, Dimitri, like I can kind of laugh on it a little
Yeah,
bit.
the second it's targeted to you though, or like
Yeah, there's some serious heat.
oh, but if it's happening to somebody else, it's like the funniest thing in the world. Like, man, these two people are going at it, and especially if the other person's like retaliating too, it's like a mini little show, you know? It makes it
Yeah,
fun.
See, that's actually part of the problem too, potentially, just because say it gets to the point that it is getting a bit personal and somebody is taking it a bit too far, nobody ever steps up for the person who's getting the shit. Not to say that I have personally, but if all we do is just sit back and let it happen, aren't we kind of at fault in a way also?
Yeah, it's tough to be that guy, that like the social justice warrior. That's
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What are you really gonna do to stop it though? Like I said, you know, you're protected by the internet. You can't, you know, it's not like seeing someone picking on like someone in school where you can go actually get in the way and beat their ass. Like, you know, you can beat them in the game and hope they quit.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think sometimes like your skill level plays into effect too, because especially if you're playing like a team-based game and the best person on the team is just going off on everybody. It's like you're second to worst, and what are you gonna say? Like, come on, man, stop picking on him, and then all of a sudden they're gonna turn to you like, yo, man, you're not much better. So I think it also comes back to like you kind of have to be good in order to talk as well, kind of thing. So I think that plays into it sometimes.
But I think that's just the biggest factor, is just people being able to hide behind the screens and act like this. It's just, and this could go with anything. This could be like not even just games, but like anything that's released on the internet, like even on blogs and stuff, people making comments. It's just, people just have like literally no filter. Like, were people like this 10, 15, 20 years ago? Like, I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, no,
I think that was something that built over time, and then once people started to realize, it's almost like a new type of personality was created, like in our social.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, like when I first started playing games online, like 1998 or like 99, with Age of Empires and like StarCraft and other like random little games like that. And I don't think I saw it as much, but I really started to see it with Diablo 2. Maybe because Battle.net was free and you didn't have to pay for it, so you just got nonstop trolls sometimes, and there you'd get like a different kind of like early version of troll, which were just there to ruin your game, because you could go hostile with somebody in town and then teleport, find them real quick somewhere, and then kill them, and then like try and loot their body or something. So that was just somebody who was just trying to like be an asshole to you, and I think that was like the earliest form of trolling that I saw.
Yeah.
I think even like, you know, in the first Halo, which wasn't even necessarily online, but like it started kind of with just like teabagging your friends, and then was Halo 2, I think, was online, wasn't it? And then,
Yeah.
you know, that's when it really, like Halo was kind of the prime example. It really exploded.
Yeah, and that just didn't happen. I think it just started to evolve from there. I think one of the biggest offenders. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go into the next segment. The next segment being, let's bring on our personal like stories and experiences on what we may have encountered. Like, I think, like I said earlier, but I didn't want to elaborate too much onto it until now, is my experience in Rocket League. You know, like this was a really hot game, like in the PC and like PS4. Like I decided to hop on, like do a few games, and like there was I was playing with like a 2-on-2. And just the amount of like the rude, angry, they were so mean, like, and even for just like unranked, it was just astounding. Like the minute like there's a function in the game where I guess you can spam like like default commands like "oh, nice pass" and "good goal" and stuff, and people just get like out of control with it, like hit it 4, 5,
Sarcastic.
6 times. Yeah, and then on top of that, if they're really crushing you, they like. The guy was like, "Oh, like, can you guys do any better? Why are you guys even trying anymore?" And it's like, "Who are you? Shut up!"
Yeah, I think with that, like, it passes a certain point because that game was free on PSN. So the first like maybe week or two, everybody was just having fun because nobody knew how to play exactly.
Yeah.
But I think at any game, once you reach like a certain point, it's like people, I guess, feel like they're pros at it. So that's where you get like all the sarcastic assholes.
Well, I actually find this pretty fascinating because I play it on the PlayStation 4. I don't have a PC, and I don't experience any of that on the PlayStation. I actually think it's one of the more civil games that I've played online, and maybe it's because you can't type as quickly, so like it's harder to like put anything in that's not default. Like usually when I'm playing, I get like, "Hey, nice goal, thanks, great pass." Like it's pretty civil, at least when I played, and yeah, maybe like there's a little like, oh, like defense. That's the biggest thing that annoys me is when people say defense when they're not willing to play it. Like,
Yeah.
So I guess that puts me at kind of the center of this particular Venn diagram, because I play on PS4 as well, but I've experienced quite a bit of the trolling. Like I told Nick recently, I had a guy who, whenever I would score on him, and he would try to spam me with some of just the base comments, and so I'd hit him back with it just to be a dick, just because, well, fuck it, why not? And he kept typing, like at one point he typed "suck a effing chicken" like 6 times in a row. I'm like, alright, I get it, dude. You're pissed, it's okay. And I just kept, every time he would do something, I would just spam one of the base commands till he quit out.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what? It was just when I had that particular experience, like it was so bad, like it was throwing off my game to the point where, when you launch off to go hit the ball on the opposing sides, and I went for the ball and I jumped over it, and I did that like twice, and even my own teammate was getting on my ass. He was like, "Oh, it would have been better off with like the AI controller." I was like,
Oh, no.
Go fuck yourself. And I was like, I that left me in a sour mood, and like I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I'm gonna play this game anymore. Then
Yeah,
my cousin
obviously-
invited me on, and I was just like, and I had a few good games, but I changed my mind. But I think it's just people can get really sour. But I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, I mean, like, this just goes with, like, team-based games. You never know who you're going to get matched up against. I mean, and like I was saying with, like, that window for a new game of trolls versus when they smooth them out, I mean, it happens in Hearthstone, too. Every time they release a new set expansion, there's, like, a week or two, maybe 3-week period where everybody's trying out new cards and everybody's like playful, like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you could do this combo," and everybody's having a good time. But by like the 4th week, man, you get like some people are like, they'll friend you after the game, be like, "You're a good fucking combo. Yeah, try making that work consistently." And it's just like, man, just trying to have fun. And I'll feel that way sometimes too. Like if I'm playing against somebody and they're playing like these janky random combos and it's working, I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, this is never gonna work ever again, other than this one game." So. But I won't go off on it. But yeah, I mean, I think people get those feelings, but it just takes a certain kind of person to sit there and spam an emote 15 times.
well, doesn't in the
seriously.
PC version it doesn't like cut you off? Because in the PlayStation 1, like if you spam something more than like 3 times, it like stops you from commenting for a couple seconds.
No, they don't. There's no filter like that. Which I thought people. I was always under the assumption, just to go off on a slight tangent, that PC gamers were a little bit more civil than like
What?
console gamers.
What would,
Yeah, I didn't think that was the case.
No.
What?
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
what would ever make you think that?
I don't know what made me think that, because I dealt with a lot more trolls like with Gears of War, like to the point where like, all right, the basic combat of the game is freaking is chainsawing. This guy got so mad that I chainsawed him like several times on end that he sent me like a nasty message like, "Oh, is that all you know how to fucking do is chainsaw? You fucking coward." It's like, what do you mean? Like, that's part of the game. Like, how can you get mad at me because you're dumb enough to keep running into the chainsaw? Like, come on.
But have you played like on your PC? Like, did you mostly play non-competitive games leading up
Yeah,
to that?
that may have
See,
been the case.
Because I think that's a big factor, like Dimitri brought up. There's actually was a study done about kind of trying to figure out like violence in games, and the findings were that it wasn't necessarily that violent games made people more aggressive. It was competitive games made more people aggressive. It didn't matter if the game itself was violent or not. Just the competitive setting or the competitive setting made people more aggressive while playing and more likely to abuse other players.
Right, and like I'll even see that in unranked Hearthstone sometimes, which is supposed to be like the fun mode where you're just doing it to either complete your daily quests or you're just trying something out. And I've had people friend me afterwards in unranked mode, just like completely going off. And I'm like, I'll friend you, I'll see what you have to say. And it's the same thing every time.
See, and they ruin it for everybody else because, like, I'll sit there and if I have a good unranked game, I'll try to friend somebody just to have somebody else to either get that card back quest with or just fucking maybe play a couple random games here and there. But I send that friend request, and even if it went nice in the game, nothing. Like, damn it, I'm not gonna troll you. Like, even if you beat me.
Yeah, I remember this one time I was playing against a guy named Yugi Moto. So after the game was over, I won, but I wasn't like I friended him. I wasn't trying to troll him. I just wanted to tell him, "Yo, man, next time believe in the heart of the cards." But
That would have been great.
he didn't accept my friend request, unfortunately.
Well, I think that was. I think we had some good examples. Like, does anybody else have anything going on, like a good example or story of what may have?
Yeah, for me, Call of Duty has been the biggest one that I've encountered. I mean, I played Warhawk a lot, you know, and that game doesn't really have open mics, so there wasn't a whole lot of like trash talk going on. And then when the first Call of Duty, the first Modern Warfare came out, like all the guys I played with switched over to that, and it was horrible. Like it was like there were times where I would just mute like the entire room because I just couldn't handle like listening to it anymore. Just, you know, after every game it was like, oh, you're a bitch, like, you know, Greg said, like, you're a faggot, like, I fucked your mom, and then like, and if you were missing a Y chromosome, then God help you, because it was twice as bad. Like, there were times where like a girl would just, then you just hear the voice and the whole room would erupt so loud you couldn't even, it was like inaudible for what they were even saying. Like,
yeah, and that's another thing that we can't really get into. Well, as far as like firsthand experience, obviously, because none of us are girls. But can you like imagine like just like the second like a girl would speak into a microphone, like the type of and I've seen them online, like the type of messages that they get afterwards. It's like, why would you ever pick up a controller?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying it'd be so discouraging to just like try and play a game, and all of a sudden it's like you get bombarded with messages of like, hey, where do you live? And you know, just creepy guys.
well, and then like some of them can be like really just like violent and like, oh man, I'm gonna rape you later, like stuff like that, and just you know, or just like make me a sandwich. Like, why are you talking? Why aren't you making me a sandwich? Like, I've heard all that stuff in games, and then like there's always the one guy who tries to be the internet white knight.
Oh, the white knight! I was waiting for that one.
And like defends him, and then that guy just ends up getting all the hate. Like, oh, she's not gonna bang you. Like, just. And it's rough. Like, I mean, and that made me stop playing those games online.
Yeah.
You know, just because I just didn't feel like dealing with those people. And you know, it's a big reason why there's no voice chat in Nintendo games, because it ruins their family-friendly atmosphere.
But there are a lot of dicks.
And there are still there's some trolls even in Splatoon. You get the random memes posted, oh man, carrying my team. It's like, okay, you probably suck half the time, but you're gonna sit there and talk how you're carrying the team. Don't be a dick.
I'll tell you, one of the weirdest times where I got like a rage message happened in Dark Souls of all games, because like I invaded somebody's world, which is part of the game, and I killed them, and then they immediately sent me a message afterwards, just like all kinds of nastiness. Like, really, Dark Souls? That's where you're gonna get like really upset?
Yeah.
Like a game where that's like the primary purpose is to like invade other people and like try and kill them.
I just can't imagine, like, you know, if it's the names escape me at the moment. The one where the galaxy flying around exploration game, No Man's Sky.
Nah.
When that comes out, I know they say they're gonna have a filter, so it's not gonna be just like, you know, ass rape. Like,
Speaking of, I remember one of the features that Xbox One said that it was gonna have was they're gonna have like some kind of report system for users, where if they got enough reports, like they'd even get banned. Did anything ever happen with that? Is that like a real thing? Shouldn't like the Xbox Live online experience be a little bit better if they have this system in place?
Well, they
Wasn't
do
that
have
the whole point?
they do have the system in place, and it does keep a track of your reputation. But as far as like how it works, like I know certain games like have super strict filters, like as far as like you can block certain people from ever playing with them, but I don't know. I've never experienced like who may have come across like that particular situation where they get banned from the game. And like I've reported a few people a couple times, and like I would never see them again. So I think it kind of works, but I don't think it completely bans them from the entire, unless they make like a death threat or something. I think that's the only way it gets that extreme. So
Unless they swat you.
yeah. But I want to wrap it up with what's some things that we could probably prevent from having these kind of things happening in the future. I mean, does that report button even work? You know, I mean,
there's got to be
you can do.
there's got to be a point where they're like that reputation system that Microsoft is trying like gets better or something, to where like if enough people report somebody as a troll, then eventually they theoretically should get banned. But recently I saw EverQuest 2. It has like a prison planet where they send people who have been caught cheating or people who have like been reported a lot. So I thought that was kind of funny that if they get caught cheating, they get sent to like their own server to just like deal with each other. I think that would be kind of like a fun.
I think that's
cool
the most
system.
fair way to do it.
Grand Theft Auto did that with their online. Like if you were cheating and you kept getting reported, then you got sent to like, you know, a room just for those people. You didn't interact with like the main community.
That wouldn't be fun. I mean, on their part, because, and they kind of deserve it too, because they will get what they were dishing out to other people. So rightfully so, right?
I don't think there's too much you can really do to stop it though. Overall, I think it's just, you know, the anonymity that, you know, the internet provides people. They're always gonna let that inner asshole come out. They're gonna take the opportunity.
Yeah, I think like even anonymity aside, like if you look on people's Facebooks and Twitters, they have their full name, where they live, associated like families, relatives, and everything. If you go on Facebook and you'll see like people just post like the most vile things that has their name associated to it. Like even when like Barack Obama was elected president in 2008, you see like you type in like the N-word into Twitter and you saw like just a list of like people's names with like their real name right next to like just like saying it, and it's just like I don't think so. That's why I don't think being anonymous even matters at that point, because people just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said. You know, you're not in front of them at that moment. You know, no one's gonna hit you, so there's really nothing. You can just get away with whatever.
That's a good point, and I think that will close the show for now. I mean, I think we've made some really good points. You know what? F you trolls, you want to keep coming at us with that kind of crap? We just find ways to deal with it. And you guys should too, in my opinion. So, while you're at it, go ahead and like this video, you know, comment, let us know what kind of trolls you've come across, any kind of terrible environment, and how you've dealt with it. And also subscribe to keep up with some of our other posts. Like, we're looking to do some more projects in the future, so keep an eye out for that. And that'd be the best way to keep an eye out, because you'll get alerted on anything else that we bring upon the Turbo Ether universe. And check out gamerslife.guru and check out the Turbo Ethers Facebook. Go ahead and like that as well, so you can be posted on kept posted on everything else. And on that note, folks, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it. So take care, and may the Triforce be with you.